Welcome back to another episode of the Parable Podcast. I'm your boy Book, and thank y'all for joining me today. I really appreciate y'all, like the support, the feedback. Like, I really do appreciate y'all a lot. So keep commenting, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing. Like, I really, really, really value you. Okay, so let's get into it today, right? So, one of the things is that I've always heard, right? And we hear it all the time as a common Bible verse, and it's actually like two verses. It's just like the verse goes like this: Your gifts will make room for you, right? And I love hearing that verse. Honestly, I like hearing it. Some people might not like hearing it. It might get a little annoying too. And then also it says your gift will bring you before great men. So the gifts, talents, whatever God has put inside you divinely. And then also there's some that are acquired that come along the way as well. And that's also divinely acquired as well. But yeah, your gifts will make room for you. So if you were to ask me, Book, I hear that, but how does your gift make room for you? You want to know the crazy answer I'm gonna tell you? You got to make room for your gift. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but that's the truth. Like, it's like this. Bible says faith without works is dead, right? So if and it even talks about you say you have faith, but I'll prove that I have faith through my works, through my actions. So basically, like my faith, like I claim to believe a certain thing and I have receipt in behaviors, actions, patterns, systems, whatever, that I believe what I say I believe, what I claim I believe, right? So in that same vein, it's just like in order for your gifts to make room for you, you have to make room for that gift to operate in your life. Like it let me tell you like this. Like a practical example. If you are like a singer, a phenomenal singer, worship leader, but you never sing, you never put yourself out there, who's going to know you sing? Like the thing is like if you don't make room to operate, like the thing is like you could be an accountant, you could be a mom, you could be a dad cuz there's some great guy worship leaders out there. Um you could be so many different things at the same time. But you know, on the inside of you, God has placed this singing gift that He wants you to utilize, and He wants to use. Like He's giving you visions. He's giving you He's giving you dreams. He's giving you aspirations. Like you just have such a passion for it. Like you can't knock it, no matter where you are. If you were under a rock, you'd be wanting to sing. And but the thing is, like, if you make no room for that singing gift to come into operation, you will that gift will never make room for you. A lot of times we're praying and hoping, like, God, bring me an opportunity to literally use this XYZ thing that He's placed in us. Or God, I want to reach this life that you designed for me and this promise, this vision that you give me. I want to operate in that where I'm traveling the world, where I'm singing, where I'm just like doing all these different things, request out the ooh. That's a very much a DMV slang, which I'll be all right. All those different things. But if you never actually open your mouth and sing, and I'm not talking about in your bathroom, in your room, I'm talking about in front of people. If you never actually put yourself out there, what do you like? It's always saying like God's not going to drop your husband in your on your couch in your living room. He's not gonna break. He's not gonna force his way into your front door. He's not. You have to actually make yourself available. You have to actually present yourself for your husband to meet you, to find you. So the same way, God has destiny helpers, God has opportunities, God has different circumstances. But if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't make room for the gift, that gift will never make room for you. Like, let me say it like this. David was a musician, right? And he's a shepherd at the same time. But David was a musician. And when David being a musician, So there came a time where after Saul was doing his own thing, wasn't really following what God wanted him to do. He kind of like just wanted to do his own thing, kind of not really trusting the word of his prophets. Um, he got to a situation where he was being tormented by an evil spirit. He was being tormented. And the only thing to soothe that spirit was divine music, right? With music. Why is it like, let me say this. David was anointed to be the next king, right? He was. Cool. However, how he got to the palace in the first place, let me say it like this. How he got to the palace in the first place was someone recognized Saul's problem, and because Saul had either advisors, counselors, whatever this person was to Saul, and said, "Oh, I heard this Jesse's son playing this harp or guitar or whatever stringed instrument, and call him to come and minister to you so that it will help ease that demonic spirit." So the thing is like, yes, okay, David was out there playing in the fields in the wilderness, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But David put himself out there. If that man had not heard David's playing, because the thing is like, trust me, musicians, everything don't sound good. But he heard David's playing to a point where like, yo, I see a problem over here and I saw a solution before I got here. I'm going to connect the solution to the problem. But if David said, I'm not going to play my harp, I'm just going to play it in my room. I'm not going to take it with me. I'm not going to have it out. I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to try to get better. I'm not going to try to cultivate this gift that God has given me. Because the thing is like, he probably didn't know that the first time he gets to the palace, how he gets familiarity with the palace was through his playing. Because the thing is, he's anointed to be a king. He was anointed to run the place. But if I'm David, I didn't see myself getting to that place first serving with this gift. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's another thing. So it's just like, if you never put yourself out there and allow this gift and make room for this gift to go into operation, you will not reach the life that God's designed for you. So let's take it off Bible. Let's talk about me, right? So for me, one thing I know I love to do, and people get on me about this. One thing is I love speaking. I love counseling. I love sharing wisdom and those kind of things. And I've been gifted for that. However, if I spent all my time as a researcher in a lab, like, yes, I can cultivate things in that lab. I was doing some phenomenal cancer research. However, the life that I know God has designed for me, I'm not walking in it without putting myself out there. Let me tell you like this. I tried every humanly possible route to try to get to a successful lifestyle, right? Where I can now bring back I'm gonna be successful in this area or whatever in this thing, and then I'll bring in speaking. I'm gonna get to the doctorate first. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And then, okay, when I'm finally established in this and I'm secured in this, then I'll bring in speaking. That's how I was trying to make it go. But God's like, no, you're gonna speak. And literally every possible route was either unfulfilling, did not meet my need, or was too demanding, or all of the above. And I couldn't. So the thing is like, I wanted people to hear me speak. I had something to share. I have something to share. However, if I don't put myself out there, how will anyone know that God's given me a gift that I can help them with, that I can use to help them with their problems? How will anyone know if I never use it? Like, if I never put myself out there. And the thing is like, okay, but people get speaking engagements, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Or say you want to be a speaker and stuff like that, and you're like, I don't even know how to start. Yo, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Start making room. I started doing Parable of the Day, and we're here right now. I mean, I'm still in the beginning phases of what all God wants me to do. But it's just taking that step. That's making room. Okay, I don't have speaking engagements left and right, requests left and right. I don't come to a church every Sunday and I'm preaching every 5 seconds. No, I don't do that. Or I'm not a therapist where I'm counseling people every other day. Those kind of things, or a leader of some huge organization or something. I'm none of those things. However, I'm a guy with a smartphone, and an Instagram account. Boom. Then we graduated. Now I'm a guy who has access to a camera and a microphone and someone to help me edit it. That's me making room. So hear me. You who has something inside of you and you're like, I want to walk in the fullness of this. You have dreams, you have thoughts, like, it's right here. It's in here. It's such a deep passion that you have. No matter what level of success that you get to, you want to capitalize on this thing. You want to move in this area or in this realm. You have to make room for it to operate, or it will not make room for you. Point blank, period. When you start making room for the gifts that God has placed in you, bro, I'm telling you, you're literally going to start walking in it in a way you don't even understand. Because for me, like, you know how many people told me, oh, start a podcast? I don't like, you're like, oh, you don't need people's validation, this and that. Yes, you don't need people's validation to do something, right? However, if everybody and their mama can recognize that there's something in you that other people need, and you're the last one to catch on. I mean, understand, maybe you're not the first person to catch on, but please do not be the last person to catch on when they're begging you to do this thing, because other people need to hear this. Other people need to experience what you have. Other people can really walk in a greater sense of life and fulfillment and the solution to their problem. You possess it. God says, don't withhold any good thing when you have it in your power to do it. So those gifting that you have, freely you give, freely you receive, so freely we give, right? Give it away. Give away your gifting. Like, give it to other people to help them, because that's what it's meant for. And when you give it away, it makes room for the livelihood. It makes room for the purpose. It makes room for the impact that you were created to do. And if you keep holding on to it, I'm telling you, you're going to go to the grave disappointed. You're going to be like, bro, I never got the chance to do XYZ thing. And honestly, God gave you the blueprint. So you're praying, God, this gift you've given me, speaking, let's keep using speaking. This gift you've given me is speaking, God. I want to be that great speaker that you designed me to be. I feel it. I believe it. God's like, okay, make room for it. What are you doing to cultivate your speaking gift? I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a speech impediment, so sometimes I fumble over my words. It's nothing new. All that, I have a list. My teeth don't even close fully. It's okay. When I read books, I read them aloud. That's how I get enunciations of my words. That's why I can say things so fast, because I practiced it. Practiced it a lot. I speak a lot in different spaces. When people need someone to speak up, I spoke. Volunteering to do different things, I volunteered. And the thing is, like, at one point, it's just like, let me do this thing. But then I didn't realize subconsciously I was cultivating the gift of speaking, which he's placed in me. So literally, it got to a point where I'll be in spaces, they're like, oh, we need a speaker. I'm the one they grab. I may even, it may be a time where I don't feel like doing this. I'm not trying to do this no more. I'm not trying to be out there. I'm just trying to hide in the back. I got to a season where I wanted to do that. And come here, boy. Because my gift, I made room for my gift just a little bit. And now my gift was starting to make room for me where I couldn't even hide from it. That's how it's going to be. So honestly, if you have questions or anything like that, I'll let her talk more about it. Like, let's talk. Like, what's that gift? And like, what are some practical ways to start making room for that gift? Like athletes, they play basketball, they're training all the time. They're doing these different things. But the crazy thing is, it's like, success is not just about preparation. Success is also about opportunity. So a lot of athletes, there's some great athletes that go unnoticed because they didn't get the exposure that other athletes got. A lot of times it's either they had parents or coaches or people who knew how to get them exposure, so they got them exposure. But the ones that didn't, like say people like Giannis Antetokounmpo, bro, it was just like a year and a half that he was really known before he got drafted. Maybe up to 2 years. I don't know. Maybe like a year. Yeah, literally like a year and some change. Like he just popped out of nowhere and it's like, yo, what happened? That was someone who was cultivating his gift. Um, and when he got in contact with the right people, because of his determination, because of his hard work, because of all those things, he got into contact with people who got him exposure, who brought him in front of opportunities. And if you watch the movie, he was able to change the life of his family because he was prepared when the opportunity arose. Because he made room for it. He would sleep in the gym. He would do all these different things. And from the movie, apparently he was terrible, to be honest. So with that, it's just like, yo, like you make room for that gift and you'll be surprised how much room it makes for you in return. And when it's making room, that's what's bringing you in front of these great people. Talk about the people who are just consistent in what God told them to do. And the rooms, I personally have come across people who do phenomenal things just because they were consistent. No, who do phenomenal things and met phenomenal people and got into these spaces with different levels. Like, yo, like there's some people that are like, yo, whoa, like this is like the LeBron James of this industry, bro. What am I doing in this room? I know people like that. I know one of my younger bros who's really I remember he went on tour with Wale. Coincidentally, Wale's from the same place we are, um, but it's just like all he did was be consistent. All he did was just use the gift that he has and keep grinding and keep making opportunity, keep making room for it to work. Did everything that he did work out? No. Honestly, it didn't. But he just kept making room for it. Like I'm telling you, like when God gives something to you and you make room for that thing, I'm like, it's also like the principle of like stewardship. Because when you're stewarding what God has given you, when you're faithful in a little bit, God's like, yeah, that one, he's gonna be faithful in a lot. So I'm gonna open it up for him. And when you make room for that gift, it does something to the development of your character. Like I'm consistently stewarding over this thing. It's yes, I think I'm working on the gift, but I'm also developing me, being faithful, being patient, operating the fruit of the spirit in order to walk into what God has called me to go into. Making room for your gift is a part of the process to greatness. And I pray after this, ideas just flow over you. I pray that like just different opportunities reach you just for you to walk more in your gift and make room for it. And I just pray that you will look back at this video in a couple years and I'm not saying this is going to activate you. I'm not saying like I hope it activates you if you're not already activated. And if you are already activated, I hope it motivates you more to keep going. I hope this is something that's impactful to you to keep going, to keep making room for that gift that God has made for you. So that's all I got for today. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy. Y'all have a great one. Peace.